Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astrogat Mysore. So today let us exclusively deal with the area of profession for the combination of Mars and Saturn. This combination of Mars and Saturn is a very tough combination to understand, and we will have to go through the intricacies and only then get into the real outcome of this combination. Whenever we see combinations, this is the research what I am doing, and I have done a little bit. We both have done, actually, me and my wife. It's not only credit to me. So the research is the merging of two different styles of astrology to understand an approach which will be more, fulfilling the request or the question of the queryist. In this, the placement of the planets which are in combination, that is conjunction, is to be seen. I have already spoken about this in my earlier, one of my earlier videos. But anyway, I will go ahead with this again here. So, if Mars is ahead of Saturn or Mars is behind Saturn, keeping in mind for the while that both of them are not retrograde, the whole picture changes, the scenario changes if Mars is retrograde and Saturn is normal, and if Mars is ahead retrograde and Saturn is behind normal, or if Saturn is ahead retrograde and Mars is behind Saturn and it is normal, or both are retrograde. So we will not go into the retrogression of this conjunction of Mars and Saturn as on date. We'll do it anyway, we'll come to that. We are now talking about normal movement or direct movement of Mars and Saturn. Maybe the speeds are different. This is what is very important in astrology, but I am not going into the detail of the speed of the motion of planet. Very important. Because if it is going in a very fast speed, it will be in a panic state. If it is in normal speed, it will give you normal events. That is the significations of the planets which have been listed down by the great astrologers will all come into play. If the planet is very slow, then again lot of significations will not work. And if the planet is dead, that is, it is dagda. I have explained what is dagda. Like, it is like the ball which is thrown up in the air, and once the gravity acts on it at one particular point, it stops at zero and then it falls down. So that is how the planetary movement uh, is virtually, and it's seen with regard to the motion of Earth or the orbit of Earth. You can see that it's like a planet which is going straight backwards or straight coming forward to you. You will feel that there is no lateral movement, so you will feel it is dagda. It's stopped in one place now, because behind that planet, the screen, that is the zodiac, is the same. So today it was Ardra Nakshatra third pada. Tomorrow also it's Ardra Nakshatra third pada. Day after tomorrow. So for 4 days, if it is Ardra third pada, we have white broad bulbuls here. So if it is Ardra Nakshatra third pada for the 4 days continuously, then we'll say that a particular planet, let us say Mars, is Dagda. Dagda means it's as good as dead. It's stationary. So these movements are very important. So keeping all this aside as on date, see what all I am keeping aside. These are all very important, but I have kept it aside because first let us understand the basics. If Saturn is ahead of Mars, with regard to the degrees in the combination, there are two kinds of, two variations in this particular sentence. If Saturn is ahead of Mars, is it ahead of Mars starting from 0 degree Aries? I'll give you an example. If Mars is at 3 degrees Taurus and Saturn is at 29 degrees of Aries. So if from 0 degree Aries, Mars is ahead of Saturn. But if you take the Rashi, you will feel that there is no combination. Many of them think that there is no combination between, no conjunction between Saturn and Mars. Why? Because the difference between Saturn and Mars is that Saturn is in Aries and Mars is in Taurus. But if you go ahead and see conjunction, the real meaning of conjunction is not that when planets are posited in Rashi, it is the proximity of the planets. So here it's only 4 degrees, 29, then you have 30, then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in Taurus. So it is in 3 degree Taurus, and even this is in 29 degrees of Aries. It's only 4 degrees. So conjunction is total, 100%. So the variation of my sentence is, if Mars is ahead of Saturn, then people will tell, no, it's not ahead. So when you are taking conjunctions, please take it from 0 degree Aries only. Don't think that the conjunctions will happen only if both the planets are in the same Rashi. And people are having a lot of confusion here. They will start jumping and telling me that, no, sir, conjunctions happen only in Rashis. Okay? Then my next immediate question will be, as a researcher, if Sun is at 29 degrees Aries and if Jupiter is at 1 degree Taurus, in my sense, Jupiter is combust. Then you don't see the Rashis, is it? You don't put that line in between. There is no line there. It's imaginary. So, for me, Jupiter is fully combust because it's only 2 degrees away from Saturn. So if people are telling that Jupiter is in Taurus, sir, Sun is in Aries. So Jupiter is very far away from Aries. No, it's not far away from Aries or Saturn. It is very close. Sorry, Sun. It is very close to Sun. So conjunction is to be taken from a given planet to another given planet directly from the degree of the referred planet. That's all. So the research what we have done with regard to this is, which planet is dominant in the role performed in the conjunction. Whether Saturn's signification will be taken over by Mars and Mars is riding the chart, or Saturn takes over the signification of Mars and Saturn is riding the chart. This is very important. Until and unless there has been Graha Yuddha, there is the planetary war between Mars and Saturn. So, this is the intricacy of the research. So, we'll come into this in a very detailed way. I'll actually publish more number of videos with regard to what actually happens when a planet is ahead and of a planet which is strong, if the planet ahead is weak, if the planet behind is weak, what will happen? We'll come to all the dominant and recessive patterns. We'll understand the traits of the planets, mix them, and then go ahead. So now coming into the main topic of today, that is analysis of profession for Saturn and Mars. Mars, as you know, is a very outwardly planet. A person who would want to work in the field aggressively, not a person who would want to be in the field but not seen by anybody. He wants to be seen by people. He wants to put an impression. So if Mars is very weak, I'm giving you a small example of what research we are doing. And Saturn is behind Mars. So Mars wants to be seen, but it is ahead of Saturn. Saturn is also weak. Let us say Saturn is weak, Mars is weak, and this conjunction is happening in the 10th house with Mars taking the lead because both are weak. And Mars taking the lead means Mars wants to show a presence in the society. You can see those people on the streets pushing their carts, shouting, you know, the vegetables, names of the vegetables, or a person who is having a job like a plumber or a carpenter coming on the cycle, announcing, anybody there who wants to get this repair done. So you will see him, you will notice him. Even the person who comes to collect, all these used spare parts, electronic spares, old paper, book, bottles for recycling. These people are noticed. You don't go to them. They come to you. They announce their arrival. Every day morning, even the people who are collecting the, you know, waste for recycling, the daily domestic waste, they also announce with speakers. So you need to go down there and, give them the waste. So the thing what I am trying to tell you here is Mars announces. Mars dresses up like the police. How will you differentiate a person is a police and a person is a common man? He has a uniform. He doesn't have to now tell you that he is a police. You can read that by his uniform. Why? How can a person pronounce that he is a doctor? His overcoat, his stethoscope. These uniforms from the whatever you call lower level, I don't call any job as a lower level. I don't have any demarcation there. But anyway, to make you people understand, from the grassroots level worker, I'll not call them lower level, I'll call them grassroots, as they are the base, they are the basis, the foundation of this whole society. So if they are not there, no, your whole city will be stinking in 2 days. You'll leave the city and run away. So from the grassroots level, who are helpers, assistants, stenographers, from there till the highest levels, everyone would want to get identified in this combination. I'm telling Mars and Saturn by putting up a different kind of an attire. This attire sometimes is called as a uniform, or sometimes people make it a habit to put on a same type of an attire so that you will recognize them, the public or a society or a social gathering will recognize them easily. Like gurujis, like people who always want to be in marketing, they will have a certain hairstyle, they will have a certain color code, they will have a certain kind of dressing, and it will be same always. The profession might be different there, but why is that happening is because Mars has taken the lead. If Mars takes the lead in the chart, only then does a person get a certain kind of a job where he can put on a particular type of an attire. So a blue collared job, a white collared job, a brown collared job, which is a mechanic kind of a thing. So even people who are firefighters, everyone have their own color code and dressing methodology. This is one of the most important points of this combination of Mars and Saturn to understand the profession. So now it is easier for us to relate, right? So if it is police, we will be searching what color of the, the color code. So these people can deal with weapons. These people can deal with weapons in the sense now, if Mars is dealing with weapons, he will show it. Where do you show weapons and deal with it? The army. You don't hide your gun and go and shoot somebody in the battlefield. You are there. You are there. The other guy also knows that you have a machine gun or a big rifle in your hand. He knows that. He doesn't imagine that you are coming with a bouquet of flowers. No. But if Saturn takes the lead and he comes in the front and he becomes pronounced, you will do everything in the hiding. Now this is the point. Just a minute. We'll pause the video for just a minute. Sorry, I had paused this video because somebody just came in. I'm in the farmhouse, so you will have people coming and going. So the point that Saturn is ahead and Mars is behind the combination, you will see those types of jobs when Saturn takes the lead, which will be not that pronounced, and it can get into a different level. People who are having this combination, malefically disposed, can get into bad practices of thieving. And people who have this bad combination in their 12th house, they can be thieved. That is, they can be robbed. So you have to be a little careful. If you are having this combination malefically posited, malefically in the 12th house, then there is a chance that in this particular Dasha Bhukti, that is the planetary period, you can go through losses due to uh, other cunning people. That's how I can tell that. So it can happen when this combination is in the 6th, 8th, or the 12th with the malefic planet. So there are a lot of professions which we have to deal with. But today I think I have taken a lot of time in making, you understand or teaching the subject of which planet will take the role and how it happens. So I think I have taken a lot of time there. So I'll come to this professional part once again, and we will have another video. So thank you very much for today's class.